So, in light of the recent GTA 6 trailer that released, I figured I'd give my opinion on it. And, of course, a lot of people have already made reaction videos, analysis videos, all that good stuff. So, figured I'd give my thoughts and feelings and also speculate on what this game could be and also what's been shown in the trailer and maybe say a few things that maybe other people have yet to say or maybe too afraid to say. Because, there's a lot of Rockstar apologists out there. So, but instead of it just being me talking about this alone, I figured I'd have my good friend Jim Pachi join me again in another video where we discuss, what's been shown in the trailer and what we think about it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Jim Pachi. I do a lot of gaming, animation, and digital art. If you haven't seen my channel before, check it out. Subscribe, like. If not, that's fine too. I appreciate it either way. And yeah, GTA 6 trailer is out. We have quite a bit of different thoughts on it, so I'm looking forward to talking about it.
So one thing that stood out to me right away was the fact that there were women in the trailer that actually looked like women. And despite what a lot of people may want to say, there is a shit ton of Western developed games where the female characters look busted as hell, and it's usually done on purpose because we see that they have face scanning technology, we see what the actual real life counterparts look like, and they still come out looking like some grotesque mess. So thankfully, at least again, as far as this trailer is concerned, Rockstar knew or knows what a woman is, so hopefully it stays that way when the game eventually does come out. How do you feel about what you saw as far as like the characters or maybe the female characters in the trailer?
Well, the major thing that I want to say is that first off, you have women that actually look like women, like you said. So you have, well, more so, they're not afraid to like show women with ass and breast and that are scantily clad and twerking, and they're definitely like going with kind of like a modern day vibe in the sense of the Instagram culture, like the TikTok culture and whatnot. So you're starting to see that seems the direction they're going with GTA 6. So it makes sense that they actually put in females that look like they look like they make Instagram videos. They look like those kind of like Insta thoughts. I want to say really that's what it is. So I'm kind of glad that Rockstar is doing that. And as far as having normal looking NPCs, they've always done that because the reality is in real life there are some like weird ass looking people. So it's kind of good that that's in the game as well. I think my major concern right now though is how they're gonna approach the content in the actual game, the actual story. I mean, is there gonna be like a bunch of pro-feminist bullshit in the game? Because you are playing as Lucia, who's a female character. And I will say that in some of the clips, Lucia's chest looks I wouldn't say flat, but it does look underwhelming compared to some of the other women in the trailer. I don't know if it was just the outfit she was wearing or if they purposely did that for her specifically. It could be nothing to be alarmed about. I mean, like, it might not be an intentional choice to like nerf her, but it potentially could be as well. I think right now we don't know. At least she has hips. She doesn't look like butt ugly. She seems feminine enough from what we've seen. She seems like a feminine character, and it seems like Rockstar is not shying away from it and playing ball with all that. Like, for a female character to be good, she has to look like a ugly ass block-jawed man. Doesn't have to look like Crimson Chin. So, we just have to. I feel like we have to like kind of wait and see more with the story. I think that's more of like the major. To me, that's more of the main concern of the direction it might go. Toward. That's the real like threat of wokeness in the actual story itself, where they could do a bait and switch mid-story, and it becomes some feminist jargon like halfway through the game.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Hopefully it's not no like feminist bullshit going on because, Red Dead Redemption 2 had some feminist themes going on. Very progressive considering it's a Western. It's in the Wild West. And when you look at Red Dead Redemption 1, that was towards the end of that era. And it's like less progressive in comparison to Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's another sign that a lot of people may choose to forget that Rockstar did make Red Dead Redemption 2 and it had some questionable content in there. One of it being Sadie, how she was portrayed, especially her sudden importance towards the latter half of the game, standing with, what's his name, Charles?
Yeah, Charles.
Yeah. So, there was a lot going on with that game. That's not to say it was a bad game, because I would argue and say it was a great game. But that doesn't mean that there could be some questionable content in there that could be considered woke or could be considered that they're trying to, Rockstar trying to play ball with the usual suspects.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that, Lucia is not this, they're not trying to make her into a girl boss that's going to end up becoming very insufferable in the game. No, Marvel MCU bullshit going on. Hopefully, they don't have any new people in there because, again, a lot of people from Rockstar has left over the years, and a lot of key developers who, a few of them who were actually there from the start of the company's creation. So there's definitely a lot to be concerned about in regards to the people who have left, and who knows who is in positions of power as far as like what the direction or who gets to say what's going to be in the game and what's not, especially when you look at reports over the years where they want to punch up and not down.
Well,
and
that means something very specific. If you're saying
Yeah.
punch up, not punch down, that means that it's okay to make fun of certain people but not okay, which shows you how they view certain people. I'm not going to say specific groups, but it shows you how they see specific groups over other people if they feel like making jokes is punching down.
Right.
Especially when you consider that, it's that mentality of either you make fun of everybody or you make fun of nobody. Because when you're making fun of only specific groups, guess what? You're targeting them.
Right,
So
exactly.
that's why on Family Guy, South Park, Family Guy has gone like more liberal and more left.
Yeah,
They've
really
definitely gone far left, but at least early on, and with like early Simpsons and early South Park, and even current South Park, they kind of mock both sides of things. I would also argue that, like, the thing that we have to understand about Lucia is that inevitably she's a main character of the game. So it's not like her sections are going to be like a Princess Peach section in a Mario game or something. Like, not even that, but it's not like she's not going to be shooting up a whole bunch of people and fighting grown-ass men. Like,
Right.
You're playing the game as her, so she's going to, if you've hand-to-hand men, you're going to be, like, kicking their ass. Because, obviously the player character is likely not going to be nerfed because she's a woman. So there's going to be some degree of that in the game. I think where it becomes bad is when it starts to go into, like, the preachy end of things, where they're, like, preaching to you and saying all this crap about, what is, about, like, trying to emasculate men and talk down to men or whatever. So, especially if they're saying they're not going to punch down, it makes me wonder, like, who are the jokes and the satire going to be really directed at?
Yeah, exactly. And another question is, how is the male character, I believe his name is Jason, how he's going to be portrayed? Because this does seem like a Bonnie and Clyde type of story, or at least as far as like how they're going to portray the characters, the two main characters, because they're a couple. Clearly they are committing crimes, doing a lot of, obviously, Grand Theft Auto, and will it be reversed where Lucia drags Jason into her lifestyle and he goes along for the ride, and is it possible that he ends up dying in the game? Or if that's not the case, will he just simply be cucked within the game?
I don't want to say that I doubt he'll die. It might be an option in the game. I'm pretty sure that when it comes to this, they're going to reverse the roles and have her bring him into, like, the life of crime. I'm pretty sure, like, that's going to be the subversion here.
Right, because they were showing her, the trailer starts where she's in prison, so...
And, again, like, even if the game... Here's back to the Red Dead thing, because I want to mention something. If a game is if a game has progressive themes, you can still admit that certain aspects of it are good, right? So, for example, Spider-Man 2's gameplay looked decent enough, gameplay-wise. At least when you're playing as Spider-Man and Miles, much,
Right.
Whatever. The gameplay itself looks fun, but the story is woke dog crap.
Yeah.
So,
And to be clear, neither of us have played that trash, so...
Yeah. So, just from what I've seen, the gameplay looks fine outside of the story, but...
the game that got nominated for 7 awards and won nothing?
But
Anyway.
the point I'm trying to make is that people think just because something's woke, I have to pretend that every aspect of it is bad. So, for example, Red Dead 2, I liked Red Dead 2. I thought it was a really good game. And I think generally the game had a great story and a lot of good things going, but there are parts of it that are clearly like woke progressive bullshit. So I'm not going to pretend that that's not what it is. And again, I'm not, if you're going to be honest in reviewing games, you have to be honest with the good and the bad. And I think that a lot of people have lost sight of that. They're like, oh, well, if you like the game's gameplay or whatever, you have to say everything about it is good. And I think that's like a slippery slope to being, a corporate slave dick sucker.
Right.
Where you accept all the bad just because they have some good that you like. I think that's actually hurt the game industry.
No, I agree. And on top of that, Rockstar is a big company. They have a shit ton of fans. Their games have a large fan base. So a lot of people are gonna, pretend that everything that they do is great no matter what. When, not every game they put out is like this flawless masterpiece. And if you think like GTA 6 is just gonna be a masterpiece with no flaws whatsoever before it even comes out, then that's when for a lot of people it's gonna be disappointing because you're gonna have these high expectations that are need to be in check. We have to check our expectations going in because keep in mind this is not the same Rockstar from like 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. It's the same with all these other companies where a lot of them have lost their way. That's not to say Rockstar is going to lose their way or that this game is going to be a total disappointment. I don't want to make it seem like I'm automatically saying that this game is doomed, like dead on arrival. That's not the case at all. What I'm trying to say is that seeing how modern gaming has become over the years, seeing how like company left and right has gone into a different direction, abandoning their fan base and abandoning core values that were present in past releases before everything had hit the fan, as far as like the modern day bullshit, all the woke shit, ESG, and now you got Sweet Baby Inc. coming in, feminist frequency and all that. That's not to say that Rockstar is immune to any of this, because it's possible. I mean, we've seen where they had took out some of the trans content characters in the GTA 5 on PS5 and Xbox Series X. So who knows what can happen?
Here's the thing though, right? Because the employees that left, it's kind of like a 50-50 as far as I know from the information that I currently have about it, which is public information anybody could look up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend I have some insight information. I just mean like what we know now about people leaving. It could be either way. They could have left because the content of the game is going toward more predatory microtransactions. It might not be philosophical involving like, whatever like social politics bullshit that they want to implement, where some people decided to leave because they don't like the direction
of the story
where involving social politics. And it could also be a thing about predatory microtransactions. It could have been just other differences of the reasons why they left. So to me it's 50-50. They could have either left because it went woke, left because of like the monetization practices, online practices that they want to implement. It could be because the opposite, that they're annoyed that it's not going woke and those people left. Like, who knows, right? But like, who knows the real reason? But again, it's, as you said, like, it's a fair assumption that it's not the same Rockstar. And given how 5 was received and how they continue to support 5 and made so much money, obviously that's going to be another factor, right? So we were talking about the content story-wise, but who knows how the online component is going to be integrated into the game and how they're going to push that, going forward. Also, I want to say that if we look at Lucia, if we're going to analyze the trailer, notice how usually, like in these kind of stories, it's usually like a male character telling a female character, like, oh, you gotta, trust me, trust me, I'm gonna, like, as you said with the Bonnie and Clyde thing, where it seems like it might be reversed.
Yeah.
Where, like, the male character would usually say, you gotta trust me, like, have faith in what I'm doing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And this time, she's telling him that, and in the trailer, you see that she's kind of, like, hovering over him.
Yeah.
Like they're in bed, which is, doesn't necessarily mean anything directly, but it's something worth noting because that is kind of like an interesting way they show that scene. And also, she seems to be leading the charge. She seems to be, when she was in the car and she's talking to, looks like Jason.
Yeah.
She's, it seems like she's kind of like running the show. Even in the trailer, when you see her walking into the grocery store, she's kind of like leading the robbery.
Yep.
She's the one who has the criminal background, at least as far as we know now. So I just think that there are actually a lot of hints in here that let us know that it might be like a girl boss kind of game, And I think that, like you said before, we have to temper our expectations accordingly.
And when you think about it, it's Rockstar. It's like no doubt the biggest gaming company in the world. GTA is the biggest gaming series IP in the world. So, they can do anything and people will buy it. This is obviously going to be the biggest. I mean, it's going to break records again. It's going to be the biggest selling, successful game ever. Once again, it's going to surpass GTA 5. I don't think Red Dead Redemption 2 surpassed GTA 5. At least not yet.
It did well, but it didn't surpass it. It did very well.
But without a doubt, GTA 6 is going to break records again. Of course, they're going to do online again. Who knows how they're going to do it, or if they're going to carry over content or people saves from GTA 5 online.
Unlikely. That's not happening.
So
it's gonna be a fresh start for everyone.
Yeah, but
sure.
no doubt it's gonna go the same route that GTA Online did.
Well, so I want to say with GTA Online, I do feel like it gets a lot of like. I'm gonna say this before I say the next thing I wanted to, where I feel like it did get a lot of unnecessary hate because it was popular for. I mean, like, look, here's the thing. The game, people talk about how they milked GTA 5, and that's why. The online was the reason why GTA 6 got pushed back. But I think that the game would have taken quite a while to have come out anyway because, you know, the development time for these kind of like games with the level of fidelity that they have and the polishing needed and the money that goes into it, I find it unlikely that we would have gotten GTA 6 sooner if 5 didn't do as well. And I think that the GTA 6 is going to have... GTA 6 will have better... I think it's going to have just as much fidelity as 5, and I think it's actually better for having taken this long to come out.
Well, also keep in mind that Rockstar did Red Dead Redemption 2, so that also took time away as well. I'm sure they split teams up, but I mean, you would imagine that most of the people involved in Rockstar, whether if it's like a studio, whichever, like Rockstar North or whatever the fuck, all the studios are going to put a lot of time and effort into GTA 6. So if there's a group, a team, different studio in Rockstar focusing on Red Dead Redemption 2, then obviously that's going to take time away. So there's also that.
Yeah, there's that too. So I just think, but like my overall point is I think it's just a little delusional to think that if GTA 5 wasn't doing so well online, that Rockstar would have already released GTA 6. I just find it unlikely that we would even get 2 GTA games on the same console lifespan, even as far as that goes, you know. So
but also, you know, you have a lot of people still playing GTA Online who at the same time will complain about, oh, where's the new GTA 6 or whatever. I mean, they're still taking part of it. But no offense to the professional. He's a big YouTuber. He has like 1 million subscribers. I don't know if you heard of him.
No.
But he does videos where he like online streams or whatever of GTA Online or Red Dead Online, and still makes videos complaining about how GTA Online or Red Dead Online is. And it's like, I mean, why keep taking part in it? Why promoting it? Why keep playing it? If you want, you know, GTA 6 or something. I mean. Mm-hmm. A lot of people play into that.
Yeah,
because business-wise, it makes no sense for them to abandon GTA Online if all these people are still playing it, despite them complaining about wanting something new and fresh because they got to keep putting content out there for it.
Well, even
at the same time,
even GTA 4, between GTA 4 and 5, it was like what 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So it's also you had Red Dead Redemption 1 after GTA 4.
So it's not like these games are coming out like bi-yearly or whatever, and I just think that the amount of fidelity that's gonna likely be in GTA 6, I think it warrants the time it took to come out. Because look, Red Dead wasn't getting the fanfare that GTA 5 was. Nope. But look at how long it took for Red Dead 2 to come out.
Yeah.
And there's so many factors. I think that narrative is a bit false. That because of GTA 5's success that it pushed GTA 6 back. I don't think that's really the case. I think we would have been waiting regardless.
I think that's more of like Rockstar's philosophy now, where it's like they're just gonna take their time making whatever game, and a lot of times it shows. It shows that all that time was worth it. I mean, you look at Red Dead Redemption 2 compared to 1, or even Red Dead Redemption 2 to GTA 5.
Or compare Red Dead Redemption 1 to even to GTA 4, the amount of quality that's in the game. So
exactly.
I mean, I love GTA 4. I'm talking about like just how it's pretty refined.
And that's not to say like GTA 5 or like everything about it was better than 4.
No, it's not because I actually prefer 4 myself. I think that the hand-to-hand combat and the gunplay and the overall tone were a bit better in 4. But again, like I like 5 as well. I thought 5. I'm one of those people that think 5 is a masterpiece as well. So I think they're both great games. It's just that I prefer 4.
Yeah, so I actually do hope that nothing gets watered down in 6 as far as gameplay.
I want them to bring back... Look, actually, you know, when it comes down to it, I would love if Lucia's fighting style is built around something like jiu-jitsu or like something like that, where she can fight off aggressors using. I mean, like again, even then, like a man versus woman in jiu-jitsu is like night and day. I train, and trust me, like when you grapple with a female, like it's not like it's really like an unfair advantage if you're like skilled versus a skilled female, you're rolling or whatever. You do have an unfair advantage. Not I won't even say unfair. It's an advantage, but I hope that they implement something like that to make the hand-to-hand combat believable with Lucia.
Yeah, just something. I don't want her just slugging and just like upcutting and dropping men like in seconds,
Because I couldn't buy a woman, getting a rear naked choke or a triangle and like managing to finish it. I think that'll be interesting if they implement that into her fighting style or something. But that's unlikely, and that's neither here nor there. Right. But GTA 5 as well, remember that all that money GTA 5 made is definitely going to help GTA 6 have a larger budget as well. So again, I don't even play GTA 5 online. I don't care for it. I'm actually one of those people that thinks it's like not that good, a little overrated. But I'm also not going to like pretend all those other factors I mentioned aren't true. And I think GTA 5 making so much money is going to benefit GTA 6 in terms of like the budget going into the game.
Yeah, I mean, based on this trailer alone, looks like they definitely have used a large budget because, you can see how a lot of things look in the game. Looks really good, I'm not going to lie. And apparently, I think it was leaked that it has a insanely large map. But I'm be honest, like
it's gonna be the Bayou though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the Florida Keys or something. Mm-hmm. Like it's just gonna be basically swampland.
Yeah.
So they could say the largest map, but like if for example, if you take GTA 5 and you look at like how much of the map is actual like
desert
populated city, how much of it is desert and mountain. And don't get me wrong, the desert and mountains are beautiful. I'm glad that's there, but like that's kind of like a large claim. Because I'm betting that Vice City, the part that's going to be like basically Miami, will be a chunk of the map, and the rest of it is going to be swampland.
Right.
And maybe a couple like towns mixed in between, like, smaller Florida, locations of Florida.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have like a Disney World parody or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have stuff like that, but...
Yeah. But for me, it's like, all right, largest map or whatever, that doesn't excite me because we see how a lot of these games are, they just promote how big the map is and like what is there. I'm more interested in like what you can do within the world as far as like in like the locations you can go inside. Like that was something that was missing in GTA 5, like the interior locations and just being able to interact with so many things, and also how the story is going to play into it. All right, if I go over here, what's going to happen? What scene is going to occur? How is the mission going to play while I'm in, say, like the swamp area or whatever? Like, how is that going to integrate into the overall experience, not just the sake of, this big, giant, large map? Because, we've already seen how all these other studios have done it. I'm not saying Rockstar is, like, on the exact same level, because they're, like, on another level compared to a lot of studios. But that's not to say, like, they may get complacent as far as, like, all right, it's large map. We're just going to have this large map and not really do anything special.
Well, also, back to, like, the thing I was mentioning before, because both GTA 4 and 5 both came out during the 360 generation, PS3 generation. And PS4 never got like a new GTA game, or like that generation never got one. It was just a remaster of 5. But I think that like with the level of graphical fidelity and what they wanted to do, I think that it's kind of better that they skipped that generation, because it's gonna allow the game to really feel like it's truly pushing the envelope. And again, like I back to what I said before, I just think it's unrealistic to have expected GTA 6 to have come out, considering how well 5 did and how people praised it for like the fidelity and like the detail, that 6 was gonna be like this immediate release a couple years later. Like that was never gonna happen. And I think like we have to accept that. And now we have GTA 6 here, where we're seeing this trailer. I think that the subversion here with I feel like the trailer is kind of a red herring, actually, Revenant, if that makes sense, because I feel like they're showing like the women like twerking and stuff, and they're showing like the chaos. And yeah, that sounds nice, but like also remember. And like the girl they showed on the beach with like she's like doing like the metal like I don't know what you want to call it, like gesture or whatever. Like it's cool, it looks cool, but remember that look at the current culture we're in. Look at like the pro feminist culture that
TikTok, social media, all that.
OnlyFans, and I think
Right.
they're really gonna play into that this time around. So
'Cause,
don't
yeah,
think
it
because
definitely looks like they are like trying to capitalize on like what's currently happening, what's
and
trending in
and
society.
and sadly, those things are tied to pro feminist bullshit. So you have like these like OnlyFans girls and stuff, and like TikTokers and Instagram girls, and like the way that like that's also part of like the whole girl boss thing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna show my butthole on OnlyFans and make $3 million. I'm a girl boss, right? I guess like the mentality.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. So like it doesn't even it's not necessarily, it doesn't mean that it won't be woke just because they have these women in it, because even the sexualized women could be weaponized to promote feminist bullshit.
Yeah,
and we
they
see
can
that
be
with
sexualized, but also what are they gonna say? How are they gonna behave outside of that?
well, yeah, like I said, you can think about like OnlyFans women and these Instagram thoughts, Insta
They can
thoughts,
still be feminists,
and they
it just again, it's just
yeah.
when you
so-
think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, all right, I'm a feminist, but then I'm a sexualize myself. Kind of goes against what they are about allegedly.
well, they want, you know what it
you
is?
know.
It's like they want you to not. They want to decide when they want to be objectified
Right.
themselves.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
So
yeah.
again, like whatever, like whatever. The point is that I don't think we should just be like, oh yeah, it's not gonna be woke just because we saw a couple women twerking. Because again, like
Right.
that the modern culture we're dealing with is also intrinsically tied to like third wave feminism.
Yep.
And I think that's gonna play a part in the story. And I think like if you look at the scenes we've seen with Lucia and Jason, it does seem like they're pushing that, and she seems like she's in charge and she's leading him. And again, in prior stories, it would usually be like the male character who's like trying to lead the female character into like the
Yeah,
life of
it would be
crime.
the other way around.
So
But again, like
and that
as you said,
I just want to say one last thing.
Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. The key scene is that when she's on top of him saying, "Oh, do you trust me?" or whatever, like think about that. Don't be like I said, don't be surprised if there's a part of the game where you can choose to cheat on the other character, or Jason gets cucked or something. You have to decide, like you have to make a choice in the game, like kind of like how GTA 5 you had to choose between Franklin, Trevor, Michael, or save both. There could be something like that involving their relationship with each other.
right? Yeah, because they've been pushing a lot of like those type of player choices, so that can definitely happen. I can see where it's up to Lucia to decide what Jason's fate will be, or whether if it's the ending or it's some mission later in the game or whatever. But back to your point about there's more to see, because this is only one trailer out of who knows how many others. So while this trailer it looks good and there's a lot to speculate and analyze, and it could be a lot of positives to it, and also for some people there could be a lot of negatives that they're seeing. There's a lot of there's more trailers to come that could further concern people or even just excite people.
Yeah, give us more info on what the game will actually be.
Yeah.
And I want to make it clear that like I'm not saying the game's gonna be bad or that it's even gonna be like woke per se or anything. Like I just think that right now it's too early to tell. But I think that's the same reason why we shouldn't drop our guard and assume that, hey, this is gonna be the thing in the industry that's not woke, because it's kind of like, at what point do we have to learn our lesson and learn that they can just sell us these trailers, and then when we actually get the game, you realize the truth. Red Dead Redemption 2 actually was caught a slipping with Sadie.
Yeah.
So
you look at the trailers, you wouldn't think you'll be seeing this what was in that game either.
And
so.
to be frank, it's not so much the females being badasses; it's just how they're portrayed. It's like
they could be badass. It just comes down to like how they're written, how they're handled, and whether or not what other character is gonna end up having to be the brunt of that behavior.
Yeah, because again, like Lara Croft, Catwoman, Wonder Woman back in the day. I'm talking about more like I'm talking older DC, because current DC is bitch made.
Or older Lara Croft.
Yeah, older Lara Croft, and like those characters were badass femme fatales or Bayonetta, but they didn't feel like their whole existence was about. They were still sexy women, and they were badass, and they were still feminine, and it wasn't about emasculating men. Where you have characters like the Captain Marvel from the movies, where that whole movie is just like a feminist vibrator orgy.
Yeah, that's like a feminist fever dream, like times 10, with barely anyone in the movie theater.
Yeah, so exactly. So again, we have to wait and see more. I think that right now the game looks beautiful. I don't think as of right now, I don't think Lucia is ugly. I think she's like looks fairly like attractive,
Yeah, yeah.
But they look grounded. They do look grounded. She doesn't look like like something you'll see from a Japanese studio where they're
No,
like.
yeah.
But she looks grounded, but she looks like pretty feminine. She looks so far. She looks like she actually has hips, has a body, And if you're a part of the Latin community, it'll be a damn shame if they didn't.
Yeah,
give her that,
it would. It really would. Yeah.
So.
This is the personal thing.
And one last thing I want to say. I'm sorry, I forgot. But yeah, one thing is that it does look like her breasts are like not that not that crazy, but it could just been to be grounded. It might not necessarily be because they're trying to like promote anything either. So
yeah, who knows?
Anybody watching this video, because you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna like. The blind, what's it called? The weird kid defending the corporation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to have that and say, oh, you guys, incel, this and that. Blah,
touch grass.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's going to be that. I'm just going by what we're seeing and, like, giving it an honest assessment.
Why don't you go watch porn?
Yeah, exactly. So
No, but, one thing I wanted to say before I forget is that the leaked footage, which I believe was, I don't know how old it was. I don't remember if he even said it on the leaked footage. Where they originally showed Jason, everyone was calling him Florida Man. I mean, he still is Florida Man, but I kind of prefer his old look there to how he is now.
Yeah.
Just preferably, I just think he looks a little more unique. Here, he looks a little kind of generic in comparison.
He gave me like Machine Gun Kelly vibes when they first showed him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like the look he was giving off. But
yeah, he looks a little more like drained, I guess, or kind of like looks like he
more normal.
Yeah, normal,
like more regular.
Yeah, and like clearly,
but
he's into like drugs and alcohol, partying, and like.
But keep in mind that in the first leak that they showed, he was wearing a different outfit and stuff. So it might depend on how he was customized as well. I mean, the face did look a little different, for sure. It did definitely look different, but I think it might just be the way that they customized him. And to be fair, we barely saw Jason actually do or say anything. He just kind of was.
Yeah,
there
it was really just and the leak thing was like from who knows how many years ago.
I think Lucia did look better before though. Like,
I think so.
In the face.
From what I can remember.
And I think her hair was also a little lighter as well. But remember, we were looking at an early version of the game, so maybe that could be because all the lighting wasn't applied yet.
Yeah, you can tell there was a lot of things that weren't finished.
Yeah, like the lighting.
Or even the camera perspective, you were seeing like just parts of the ceiling and shit like going through and all that. So
who knows? It could be a lighting issue.
Or it could just been like early concept, something.
But early models,
yeah.
Because like, she definitely looked a little different, and I would argue she did look a little more feminine. She had like a long sleeve shirt on, so I can't say that.
Well, they showed her with that in the art for the trailer.
Yeah.
Where like she's like up on top of the car with him.
But what I mean is like the look that she had in the early like the leaked footage that we saw. She was kind of covered up, so it's kind of hard to say. Like she definitely was like thick. She was. Yeah.
We got to see the back angle.
She was thick, and I was shocked. Actually, that actually made me feel a lot better about GTA 6, even when I saw the leaked footage. But
yeah.
But I think that like when they showed that, she was also covered up like in the upper body area, which is fine. It's just like it's hard to tell like, overall like what her like real like proportions were. But she definitely was like thick, and she had a more feminine face. I think it's not that different, but it was different though.
Yeah, it was.
And also, just for the record, because I want to say this, because people might misinterpret why I'm emphasizing so much on the way the females look. The reason why it matters is because usually when you see a certain kind of like female, it usually goes hand in hand with the politics as well. So, for example, in Sushi Squad, sushi for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
In Sushi Squad, the game coming out from Warner Brothers, just to be clear, we see Harley Quinn and how she's like her model looks, and then we look at how the character has been portrayed lately, or like we have other red flags like games. What was the other game that came out? What the hell was it? Like just across the board, like you see these women and they look a certain way, and it always has like the same kind of like political message shoved in. So usually when you see them like that, it's kind of like a red flag.
Were you trying to think of Gotham Knights?
I think it was Gotham Knights.
Harley
Quinn and Gotham Knights. Yeah, and then you look at how she's drawn, and then you think about like how she was portrayed. It's kind of like it usually goes hand in hand. So if I go to look at a Japanese game and I see a certain type of female, it kind of lets me know that they're probably not going to have a bunch of the message shoved in the game.
Right.
So it's not so much that I think that all the female characters have to be like these busty like Barbie dolls. It's just more so the fact that every time that they don't do that, it seems like there's some woke agenda mixed in. With the story, not even with the looks of the character, just even with the story. So
yeah, it kind of gives you like, all right, I already
it's a
know
warning.
what's gonna. Yeah,
it's a warning basically.
or in many cases, it's like confirmation.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, if I saw a normal looking, like in the old Silent Hill games.
Right.
You know, I would be like, whatever. Like, it's just or even like Dead Space, where Nicole, even in the original Dead Space, Nicole wasn't like crazy sexualized or anything.
No. Yeah.
But I wouldn't bat an eye at it because I knew it was just like a design choice. Where now it seems like they're purposely nerfed.
Well, yeah, we know it was.
Yeah. Now it seems like they're purposely nerfed, and then they have an agenda, and they just go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So don't like. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, every female character has to look like this fucking like porn star or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just that
like her boobs got to be coming out of her shirt or whatever. It's not that.
It's just that the fact of the matter is that in the last 10 years, roughly, well, I'll say like roughly like 10 years, right?
Yeah, give or take.
Every game that comes out when these female characters don't look like that, it usually has some feminist bull crap or some agenda or some like form of the message shoved in.
Yeah.
And we see that with Marvel movies as well. Look at Captain Marvel. Look at her outfit. Compare Carol Danvers in the comics. I'm not talking about now, like not the ultra like gay LGBT versions of the characters we have now. I'm talking about like look at the classic Carol Danvers. And compare her old designs and Miss Marvel and those designs compared to now. And it's kind
like
of
night and day.
Yeah, where Carol Danvers was actually a character people like visually thought was like really attractive or they liked, and she was drawn a certain way. She's not drawn like that anymore, and guess what? The messaging and the stories are also different. Yeah. So they go hand in hand.
So that doesn't mean that Rockstar is above any of this. They can be playing ball with all these other companies have been. So don't be surprised if they go in that direction, because it's very, very so possible. Especially how the climate has changed, in not just in gaming but in entertainment overall. So, your favorite developer, whoever, is usually going in this direction. Whether if it's a Western developer, Eastern developer, a lot of them are going to play ball. And even if they know for a fact the game, whatever the product is going to get money regardless, if they can hand-fist the message or meet all the diversity quotas that they can.
Spider-Man 2.
Exactly. They're gonna do it anyway because, again, it's more money for them. And, a lot of it is just about greed now. It's not so much about passion.
It's greed.
And it's about greed first above everything else.
So, like we saw in Spider-Man 2 and Batman with Gotham Knights and Sushi Squad, like, if you tie these IPs to the game, they're going to sell regardless. And they feel awfully comfortable doing that with established IPs because they know people are going to buy them due to brand loyalty.
Yep.
So I don't expect GTA 6 to be any different. I think it will, no matter what the content is, just like Spider-Man 2, it's going to sell well and people are going to simp for it because
yep.
Because it's the thing, it's the character that they liked, and you're not going to really curate and actually analyze the content that they're ingesting, or not ingesting, what's the word, taking in, like, what they're engaging with.
Yep.
And they're just gonna say, well, I like the violent game, MK1. I like Spider-Man. So
I like Last of Us.
So anything that they do in those games, they're gonna play ball with them. So in the end of the day, they know it will sell. I can only, as a fan of GTA and Rockstar games generally, I can only hope that they don't sell out and make an actual game that feels in line with GTA. I think that the trailer looks good. I think that, again, I'm closing out here with this, but I think that if you pay attention to the way Lucia is portrayed, there are some red flags that people should be, all right, this could be a little strange, a little weird. They could be compromised, because again, like, look at how Lucia is leading the charge. Look how she's like, how Jason kind of seems like the more passive of the two.
Yep, the follower, just
yeah, and
going along with it.
And usually, again, this would usually be, in the case of Bonnie and Clyde, it's usually like the guy leads the woman to a life of crime.
Mm-hmm.
So, I honestly, it's okay even if she gets him into it. It's just more so like that kind of a sign that they want her to be like a girl boss character. So, we don't know yet. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope it's great. I hope this video ages poorly and I look like a fool and I love the game. I hope that's the case.
Well, I mean, this is speculation. We're not saying this is a fact of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people are going to misconstrue what we're saying and put words in our mouths like, "Oh, you're saying this, you're saying that." No, this is speculation based on what has been shown.
Well, I hope my speculation is wrong, and I hope that the game is phenomenal.
I hope so too. I really do.
And you know, it has potential to be great. I will say that one thing that's interesting, speaking of investors, is that at the time of this video, I was looking at Take-Two's stocks, and they went down by a small percentage even after the trailer came out, which I thought was a little weird. So I don't know, whatever, you know, like that could just be a coincidence, but it was something that I noticed. I'm saying that as the time of recording this video, and when I looked at the stock was when the trailer came out, a day after. So, you know, this is not like advice with any of that stuff. I don't give out advice. Don't listen to me with that. Don't, whatever, you know, just for legal reasons. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about stocks. Don't go by anything said in this video to your own things or whatever.
Yeah,
it's important to say that. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I know. But so, again, it's
just a little odd that their numbers went down a little bit because by a small percent. You would think it would have jumped up a little bit after the trailer.
Yeah. So. But you know, again, who knows? It's only one trailer. There's a lot more to be shown. Obviously, before the game comes out, I'm assuming it's going to come out in September of 2025 because I believe Red Dead 2 and GTA 5 came out on that month. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that GTA 6 is going to come out September of 2025. But who knows? Again, there's more to be shown. Now, you can make the argument that the censorship in the GTA trilogy, the remastered trilogy, and the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of GTA 5 could have been more of a Take-Two decision over Rockstar. But again, a lot of that is wishful thinking because, again, Rockstar is the developer and publisher of those games. Well, I mean, they didn't really have much of a hand with the trilogy, so that could have been Take-Two's decision. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you just take Rockstar, you know, get them off the hook as far as that. Let's blame the publisher or the owner of the company.
Rockstar could have always done it. Yeah, like it's like Rockstar seems like the kind of thing where the investors just kind of trust them to do what they want to do because they consistently made money in the past. So I doubt that like Take-Two would want to interfere too much directly with them because it's exactly. like why you know, if they're making you a bunch of money doing what they do, you should, you know, a smart money would say just let them do what they do and they'll make you more money, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of doubt that a lot of those decisions were Take-Two.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know for sure, like you said.
I was more, you know, if anything, it could have been like the trilogy because Rockstar wasn't involved with that.
But again, they could have outsourced it. Remember,
exactly.
Rockstar just because Take-Two owns the company doesn't mean that Rockstar generally operates independently.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how you see like UFC has a different owner now.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure UFC still operates generally as it did before because they want UFC to continue making money.
Yeah, not interfere too much.
Much, you know.
So that could be the case with Take-Two and Rockstar. So if there is some, you know, modern day pandering, which this game could have, you know, a lot of that could really fall on Rockstar because again, they have proven they are a big company for a reason. Their games sell very well. They are known universally for a reason. So if there's only one company that's going to be calling the shots the whole way, it's Rockstar, more than likely.
Yeah, and I think like there's like a psychology to this kind of thing, right? Like, think about this, right? I think Rockstar knows that the game is gonna, like you said before, the game will sell anyway, no matter what. And I think that like when people play these kind of games, they want to admit it to themselves, but there's a strong bias to the game being good. For example, like for me personally, for GTA 4 retrospectively is a better game than 5 to me.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, even though 5 has obviously technical things that are obviously better on the technical level, but I think that like they're counting on that, and when it comes to like the game being the hype of the game and people's interest, I think they know that people are gonna buy it anyway. So why not just experiment, do whatever the hell they want?
When they know they can get away with it.
It's kind of like Mortal Kombat 1. I'm going on in circles here, but I'm trying to say, like, even with Mortal Kombat 1, it's like you're playing Mortal Kombat 1 to play the violent game, the violent fighting game. So, usually, people can say what they want about the characters or whatever, but really they like the gory fighting game with the fatalities. And as long as the game stays true to that, it's gonna sell well, even if the overall the content is shifted in either direction.
Which it has.
Same thing with a game like GTA. People want to play the run from the cops, shoot, blow up pedestrians game.
Crime simulator, you know.
Crime simulator, open world game. So as long as the game abides by that, people are gonna justify whatever the content is, even if it's objectively. Well, I'm not say objectively, but even if it's headed in a negative direction or is generally not that good.
Right.
You know, same with Red Dead 2. So I think as consumers, we can take responsibility, but we have to also understand that a large majority of people just want to play the new open world crime game, the new violent fighting game, the new superhero game featuring their favorite superheroes.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what they are, as long as a shell of them is there in some form, then that's all that really counts, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, we seen it. You know, you see it all the time. So
Spider-Man,
really going to be
Spider-Man
no different.
2, people say they love Spider-Man, but love seeing Peter get cucked. And I'm like, how can you love Spider-Man and want to see Peter portrayed like this?
Right. So.
You know? Yeah, so in the end of the day, it is what it is. But hopefully the game is good. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's awesome. I hope Lucia is hot as hell and also, like, not an annoying, vapid feminist.
yeah.
And I hope
that's
the game
the
is
best
great.
case scenario.
And I hope the game is great. And
Me too.
I hope I'm wrong.
So hopefully our concerns are put to bed. You know, whenever Rockstar uploads the next trailer, or you know, obviously before the game comes out, because you know it could be overall a really good game. You know, making fun of both sides, both political sides, both sides when it comes down to society, culture, way of life, what have you. Whatever, male, female, whatever your sexual orientation is, whatever your race is, all sides are made fun of, just like past GTA games, or even in the case of maybe other games like older Saints Row games, before the reboot, the shit boot. But hopefully Rockstar remembers that. They remember who their audience is, and not listen and don't bother listening to people who want to virtue signal, who want to pretend that the old games were problematic and that gaming needs to change and mature, but then they're the same people who act like pieces of shit online whenever something doesn't go their way. So hopefully Rockstar, they don't bend over backwards for these people, and we get a really good game that's true to GTA and true to what people know and love from Rockstar. So, but that's basically what we had to say as far as this trailer is concerned. I know we talked a lot, but a lot of it was speculation and what we have noticed. Maybe a few things other people have not even pointed out. I don't know, but
yeah. I think once we see like actual gameplay, we'll have more to talk about. Exactly. I mean, like I said, I kind of want them to implement a little bit more advanced hand-to-hand combat,
and not watered down the combat. Hopefully, it's like GTA 4 and San Andreas,
and add more variety to the guns where they feel a little bit different from each other. I felt like GTA 5 had that I hate to say it, but the weapons didn't feel as distinct from each other as they did in 4,
right? Yeah.
Or previous GTA games. So I just really hope they kind of make the weapons feel more authentic. Maybe like look back at games like Max Payne 3 and kind of like look at how the weapons felt different.
Yeah, take a lot from that game too.
So,
but
we'll see. I really, like I said before, I really hope they go hard with the hand-to-hand combat and like really make it better, because it was fun in 4, and I felt like, and even San Andreas with the fighting styles, and I feel like 5 just was a total degradation of that.
Yeah, no, it was.
So yeah, that's basically it. I think once we see more gameplay, like you said, we'll have and like I said, we'll have more to talk about. I think we can only talk about the trailer, which was basically cinematics anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically what we had to say about GTA 6 so far. I'm sure it's gonna be a long time before we get anything new. So, it's one of the reasons why we went on so long. But what did you guys think of the trailer? Did you are you concerned? Are you excited? Or what do you think about what we had to say? What our speculation, or
do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, exactly.
If you do disagree, comment. Give us your actual opinion of why you disagree.
Yeah. Maybe some little a little more creative than calling us incels or touch grass or or whining about shit or whatever.
Exactly.
But be a little more creative than that. If you can. If not, then I get it. But So I'm gonna let you give you a quick intro out of here.
So yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm always happy to be on the channel with you and to collab with you. We're stay tuned for my channel. I'm gonna be streaming Metal Gear Solid 3 soon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I really love that game. I do animation, digital art. You can follow me on YouTube and check it. Just check out my stuff. And if you're interested, subscribe. And if not, no, it's always cool too.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed what we had to say. If not, again, feedback, criticism, your thoughts and opinions on what we were saying on GTA 6, the trailer, all that is appreciated and welcome in the comments. But until then, take care and peace.